Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, and I am excited to be back with you all for another morning motivation. Today, we have a new person leading the Brook Creed, which I'm very excited about. So far, we've had two different Liams lead the Brook Creed, and today we have a third person who's going to lead it. And then I haven't heard from anybody else about leading the Brook Creed. So if you want to be the person to lead the Brook Creed, send me an email or a text message, a video of you doing it so that you can lead all of the Brook Scholars in kindergarten through second grade in doing the Creed later this week or later next week. Let's go ahead and get started. So our scholar that is leading the Brook Creed today is Amelia from Unicamp. So your job is to be following along with her and listening very carefully and doing the motions alongside her. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, my name is Amelia, and I'm from Brook Charter School, and I'm going to do the Brook Creed. I am a Brook Scholar. I have the power to determine who I am, who I will become, and what I do in life. I will stay focused on achieving excellence. I will make smart choices because I respect myself, my teammates, and my community. Today is a step on my path towards success. Bye.
Amelia, that was so awesome. Thank you for leading the Brook Creed today, and I look forward to someone else leading it tomorrow. Second graders, I'm looking at you because we've had a kindergartner and we've now had 2 first graders, but we haven't had any second graders yet. So I would love to see some videos from you guys. Let's get started with shout outs for this morning. So our first shout out comes from Miss Rely. It's a shout out for Ethan, who has been showing his love for reading, and he did that in a conference that he had with Miss Rely last week. So after he finished his conference with Miss Rely, he asked if he could read her something that was really funny from his book. And so he read that to Miss Rely, and they had so much fun reading it together and laughing together. And Ethan, that just shows a really incredible love for reading and a really incredible love for learning. Let's watch this video. I bet you'll start laughing when you watch it because I did earlier, just hearing them read together and laugh together. Ethan, that's a great example of a love for reading. Make sure to keep that up. Let's give Ethan 2 claps. Mrs. Olet also has a shout out this morning for Julia, who did an awesome job counting backwards from 50 recently. Julia used a loud and proud voice, and she didn't make any mistakes. Julia, that shows awesome focus, and we're really proud of you. Let's give Julia 2 claps. Our next shout out is also for Mrs. Olet, and it's a shout out for Kellyanne and for Peter. Mrs. Olet was so impressed with their reading during their phone conference on Monday. She can tell that they've been practicing their reading every single day. Kellyanne and Peter, that shows such a huge commitment to growing your brain every single day when you are at home, and that is something to be really proud of. Let's give 2 claps for Kellyanne and 2 claps for Peter. Our next shout out comes from Miss Crawford, and it's a shout out for Le Marie. Last Thursday, Le Marie showed Miss Crawford her writing that she had done about what she thought would be a perfect picnic. And Miss Crawford, as you can see from this beautiful writing here, was really impressed with Le Marie's ideas, her details, and her illustrations. She can tell how hard Le Marie worked on this writing and how proud she is of the piece of writing. Le Marie, awesome writing. That is a fantastic example of how to show great focus when you're learning from home. 2 claps for Le Marie. Our next shout out also comes from Miss Crawford, and it's a shout out for Alexa and her amazing reading voice. In her conference on Monday, Alexa read the book I Love My New Toy to Miss Crawford, and she did a really great job changing her voice to match Piggy's voice and to match Elephant's voice. So every single time Piggy or Elephant was yelling, she was making her voice really loud, or if they were talking quietly, she was making her voice really quiet. And that shows that she's really thinking about what's happening in the text and how she can make her voice match those characters. Alexa, that is awesome fluency, and that shows you've been practicing your reading a ton. Let's give 2 claps for Alexa. Our next shout out also comes from Miss Crawford, and it's a self-determination shout out for Davida. Davida has been working so hard to get better at her reading. Every time Miss Crawford video conferences with Davida, Davida's been pushing herself to try things that feel really tricky for her. She's really, really embracing how good it feels to succeed at something after you try and try and try. And we know from goals that we've worked on in the past, you don't always achieve that goal right away. But if you stick with it and you keep trying like Davida is doing, then you'll end up succeeding, which feels really, really good. Davida, awesome self-determination. 2 claps for Davida. All right, we're going to move into our goal for today. So today's Wednesday, and that means our goal is going to be a teamwork goal. So you all have noticed at this point, I know we've been learning from home for about 5 weeks now, that you're spending a lot more time at home than you probably usually do. And you're probably starting to feel like there are people that you miss or people that you haven't seen in a long time, but you still really care about them and you're still thinking about them a lot. When we're spending a lot more time at home so that we can keep our bodies healthy and we can keep our family safe, it's important to check in on people who we care about who don't live with us. And you can't go check in on them in person because that wouldn't keep us safe. So today we're going to be thinking about who are some people we want to check in on and how can we do that when we're supposed to stay at home. So let's start by thinking about who are some people that you might want to check in on. I want you to think about who is someone who you really care about and you really feel like you miss right now because they don't live with you. Take about 5 seconds to think. Okay, I have some ideas. So maybe one person that you thought of is a parent or a sibling, a brother or sister who doesn't live in the same house or the same apartment as you. I know a lot of us live separately from some of our family members, and that might be someone that you really miss right now and you really, really care about. Or maybe you were thinking of a friend that you go to school with, someone who's in your class. You probably haven't seen them in a long time, and I bet you miss having fun with them and learning with them. Or maybe you do an activity outside of school usually, like you play on a soccer team, or you play on a football team, or maybe you do karate classes or dance classes or swim classes, and maybe you have someone that you really care about in that activity that you miss and you haven't seen in a while. Or you could just have other family members that you haven't seen. I know this past weekend, my family usually celebrates Easter. And I usually get to see my aunt and cousin, and I didn't get to see them this weekend. And so I was feeling like, oh, I really miss them and I really care about them, and I should make sure that I check in on them. So right now, decide on one person who you care about and you miss that you are going to check in on today. Lock it in your brain. Okay, now let's think about what we could do to check in on them. So we can't go over to their house because that's not safe. So I don't want you to do that. But there are some other things you could do. If someone in your family will let you use their phone, or if you have a phone of your own, which I think some of you second graders do, you could call up that person on the phone. And we'll talk next about what you could say to them. Or if you don't have a phone, you could maybe write them a letter. And you could send that letter in the mail so that they won't get it right away, but hopefully they'll get it soon and they'll know that you are thinking about them and that you really care about them. Or if you have a computer or, again, a family member's phone, you could send someone an email or you could send someone a text message, maybe a picture or a video saying that you miss them and that you really care about them. So right now, think about that person. Who did you decide you were going to check in on? And think about how you want to check in on them. Is it over the phone? Is it writing them a letter? Okay, lock that in your brain. Now let's think about what we could say to them. So this is someone that you haven't been with for a long time, you haven't seen, and you really miss. So you could tell them that you miss them. That's a great thing to say to someone who you want to know that you really care about them and that you've been thinking of them. You could also ask them how they're doing. Something that a lot of people have been asking is, are you staying healthy? How are you keeping yourself busy? What activities are you doing? That could be something that you ask them. You could also tell them that you're really looking forward to seeing them sometime soon, because this will last for a little while, but it's not going to last forever. And so you'll get to see that person again. You could tell them that you're looking forward to seeing them again. So right now, think about who's that person? How are you going to show them that you care about them? How are you going to check on them? And then what are you going to say? Okay. So hopefully you have a clear plan for what you're going to do today to check in on someone that you really care about, but you don't get to see right now. And if you do that, make sure to tell me about it so that we can celebrate you in Morning Motivation tomorrow. Okay, let's see what our core value song is going to be. Drum roll, please. Now it's off camera. It's over here, but you'll hear it. Let's see. All right, today's song is going to be Respect. Remember, I'm still looking for people who are going to lead the core value songs. So if you want to lead the core value song later this week, right now you can pause the video, go get a family member, and they can record you doing this song so that you can be the leader next time we play the song Respect. All right, here we go. R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me.
Come on, man.
I give respect to people every day because I want them to appreciate the things I do and say. I think before I speak and use a friendly tone because I want my good manners to be widely known. To get respect, you got to give respect. Be trustworthy, cause that's how people connect. If you're considerate, you'll feel the effect. To get respect, you got to give respect. I wait my turn and I give personal space. I say please and thank you with a smile on my face. Don't interrupt me, and I'll do the same for you. I'll give my full attention to your point of view. To get respect, you got to give respect. Be trustworthy, cause that's how people connect. If you're considerate, you'll feel the effect. To get respect, you got to give respect. I give apologies when people look concerned because respect isn't given up, it has to be earned. To get respect, you got to give respect. Be trustworthy, cause that's how people connect. If you're considerate, you'll feel the effect. To get respect, you got to give respect. To get respect, you got to give respect. Be trustworthy, cause that's how people connect. If you're considerate, you'll feel the effect. To get respect, you got to give respect.
All right, hopefully you had someone film you doing the Respect core value song, and it's okay if you make mistakes during it. You probably noticed I made a mistake with one of the hand motions during it, but it's no big deal because we all make mistakes, but I would love to see you guys as leaders of those core value songs. All right, I hope you have an awesome Wednesday. Remember, your teamwork goal for today is to check in on someone that you care about by calling them, texting them, emailing them, or writing them a letter. Have a great Wednesday, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.